think.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome into the St. Johns County Show that's on in the morning. Hope you are doing fantastic this morning.
Ricky's doing great.
Ricky is doing great.
We're all doing great.
It's the first time I've called him Ricky in a long time. That's what, like, grown-ups past a certain age. Grown-ups. That's what people past.
We're still kids.
Such a stretch.
Still a kid. That's what people over a certain age call you. Ricky.
Ricky. Yeah.
Like people who coached you back in the day.
I'm over that age. I can hear you, Pete.
What? All right. I said that out loud? That wasn't just in my head. Oh, okay.
Grown-ups are crazy.
Yeah, these grown-ups.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Well, there we go. We got grown-up stuff to talk about today. Let's see. We have got, what do we got? Oh, we'll talk about the TDC meeting. Tourism leaders still looking for fixes for Nights of Lights. So we'll talk about that. Governor DeSantis signed a bunch of bills. Just out here signing bills.
Light bill, water bills.
Yeah, can you sign my light?
Yeah.
Right. Take care. Those are the bills I need signed. Get those taken care of, Gov. All right. So we'll talk about what those are. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. So we'll talk about some of those. We've got a proposed law that could stymie neighborhood improvements. Ooh.
Stymie.
Stymie.
A word that's underused.
Is it?
Probably
or is it just
probably for a good reason.
probably? Yeah. Yeah. And St. Johns County going to be enhancing the Field of Dreams with a 1.5. Well, we'll talk about how many.
Yeah.
Now we'll talk about those enhancements later. But first, before we get into the show, very excited about today's show. We will tell you about our great friends at Bozart Ford Lincoln. Since 1949, been more than just a dealership, a family-owned beacon of trust right here in St. Augustine. And right now, they have just announced their new From America for America program. Every single customer gets employee pricing. And no, this is not just the employee pricing that you get if you're a detailer or a car salesman. It is the same price that you get if you are a Ford executive buying a car. That's a big deal. It's actually a huge deal. And Ford hadn't done anything like this in over 15 years. If there was ever a time to get a great deal on a vehicle, it's right now. And Ford's got some amazing vehicles out there. You got to check them out. If you're looking for a truck, I got to tell you, man, if you pull up in like an F-250 or above, people kind of know you're the boss, right? Like you pull up in one of those trucks and it's like, oh, that's the boss of whatever he does. Mm-hmm. Or she does. So get yourself a boss vehicle at Bozart Ford Lincoln, right off 16 and 95. Also, our friends at the Bailey Group, here to provide for your family's future, lift the burden of expenses and outstanding debts, and create lasting legacies for future generations. And really take the stress off your shoulders. 904-461-1800. Also, big shout out to our friends at Fidus Roofing, Great Expectations Realty and Auction, Old Town Trolley, All American Air, Bin 39, Chiba Hut Toasted Sub, St. Augie's Pizza, BHF Insurance, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, St. Augustine Handy Houses, Lux Japanese Head Spa, and I am powered as I am each and every morning by the Vibe Nutrition. That was good enough.
Nice.
Yeah.
So watermelon sugar this morning.
Watermelon
Delicious.
sugar.
Doesn't that just sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they sold it in the store, just like watermelon sugar instead of like regular sugar, you're going for the watermelon sugar.
You know
Every
what?
time.
You are. I'd buy watermelon
Ooh,
sugar. Yeah.
You just came up on a little flavored sugar idea.
Maybe we need to dehydrate some watermelon out here, make some sugar out of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, the only Red Bull I drink is the watermelon one.
That one's pretty good.
If it's got watermelon in it, I'm
down.
Grabbing
I love watermelon.
Favorite Jolly
thing.
Rancher, watermelon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Favorite fruit.
It's the one I'm going to.
Don't forget to share, subscribe to our YouTube channel at the 904 Now. Good morning, guys. How goes it?
Hey, happy Tuesday.
Yeah, you had to think for a second
I
there.
did. It's been a long week already.
Rick, how are you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Good morning.
Good. Good morning to you too, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Blake, how's it going in the booth?
I'm doing well, sir.
Awesome.
I'm doing well.
Great.
Yes,
man.
Hey, that's a lot of energy for.
Heck
We've got a lot of energy today. I love
We're
it.
lit. You got a Vibe Nutrition tea back there too?
Uh, I wish I did, but fortunately though, I'm fortunately powered every day by existential crises.
There you go. That'll give you energy.
That's a good catch line.
That'll make
Existential crisis.
Shape that whole fit
That needs to be
fit on a shirt.
I was gonna say, you talk about new merch. Powered by existential crises.
That's actually good.
That is really good. I like it. All right, it's time for the All-American Air question of the day. What you got, Troy?
All right, question of the day, and this one's, I know it's only my second day of being in charge of the network, but I decided to go in big.
Oh, yeah, you went really controversial with this. I don't know if this is a good idea for your second day.
And if it goes poorly, it's Pastor Jeff's fault.
Well, now you're going to blame it on the man of God?
I got to have some type of buffer.
Wow, okay.
He put it on his Facebook.
Glad I don't do this anymore. There you go. There you go.
Flats or drums?
Oh, okay.
Flats or drums?
I think, what might have been even more controversial is blue cheese or ranch.
Ooh, there's levels to this.
Yeah, there are. So you got, I'm going to add on to that.
Okay.
If it's okay, boss.
Go ahead.
Okay.
You can add.
So, part 2 of this question, ranch or blue cheese?
Okay.
Okay. We're going to divide everybody today.
Dang,
Everybody's
this is
going to
getting
hate
deep.
everybody today. So, I used to be drums. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
But these days it's more flats for me because I learned the trick to picking them apart. I learned the trick to the flats.
Push through.
I never knew the trick before. Yeah. So, and then blue cheese, and that's a lot of people don't like that.
Oh,
A lot of people don't like
that's
when you go with blue cheese. People do the safe bet and they go with ranch. I'm outside of the safe bet. I'm going with blue cheese.
That's a solid answer.
Yeah. It's the best cheese that exists.
The best cheese. I don't know if it's the best cheese, but in this case, I'm
Liquid cheese.
It's one of the healthiest cheeses. It really is one of the healthiest cheeses. It's good for like inflammation and that type of thing. Yeah.
Nice. I did not know that.
Yeah, man.
Cool.
Right.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. I think drums are more of a kid thing since we're growing up.
Right.
Ricky ate drums. Rick, I think I'm going flats.
Yeah,
for
Lost
sure.
the why.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I got to man up a little bit and grow up. Yeah.
Since you lost the
So I'm
why.
going flats.
There you go.
I'm pretty familiar with how to push them through, but I like him because you can just put that little bit of ranch across the top of it. It stays there.
There you
Boom,
go.
flip
You're
it,
a
same thing.
pourer, not a dipper?
I'm a pour.
Yeah.
You're a pourer?
Oh,
too?
third level
No,
of the question.
I'm a dipper, but I don't do the push through. I do the twist. I do
Same.
the
Same. I do the twist and
boom,
then
pull apart.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
No, I do the push through and then I break them apart and then I eat. Yeah, there isn't much left on that carcass.
I was gonna say,
Right.
are you the one that eats them all bone dry and
Yeah,
you're
there
basically
ain't much on that carcass.
pulling bone? Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not the guy who sticks it like,
Flosses their teeth with them.
I picture like Shaquille eating it like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Yeah.
Like
Boom.
like Fred Flintstone
Effortless.
style.
Everything
just,
off.
Just a bone. But I am 100% flats.
Flats, awesome.
All right. And I'm blue cheese. And
Okay.
I am a dipper, not a pourer.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Not a pourer.
I'm a ranch pour too, by the way. So
Okay.
I'm flats ranch pour.
And I'm not a hater.
I'm a poor ranch flat.
And I'm not a hater on ranch.
Right. No.
But
I'll do ranch every now
I mean,
and
if
then.
I have the option, I'm going blue cheese
Yeah,
instead
man.
of ranch.
Yeah, man.
So
It's
I mean,
better with wings.
I mean, I'm not the person who goes, I'm not even ordering wings now if they don't have blue cheese.
Yeah, right.
Some people are.
Some people are. Some
Yeah.
people are that.
Yeah.
No,
about their
ranch is
wings.
my second option.
So
Ranch is my second option.
yeah.
I like certain blue cheeses. Some of them are a little bit too like musky for me, so that's why ranch is more of a safer bet. But yeah, if you get the right fresh blue cheese curds in there and all that stuff, yeah, it's really good.
All right, Blake, what you got?
I'm gonna go with flats for my wings. Then I'm sorry that I'm gonna have to go ranch.
You're not
Okay.
sorry. You're
All
different
right.
taste buds.
And
You
are you
don't have to be
pouring or
sorry,
dipping?
Blake.
No.
You just got to give him the key to the house when you leave.
You just got to move
The
out.
studio. You just got to
Just
leave.
gotta find a new place to stay.
It's
It's not a
be
big
sorry.
deal.
You don't have to be sorry at all. It's just your rent's going
You're just
way
off the
up.
network.
Yeah, it does. Thought you had taste.
No, it is, man. Some people you either like ranch or you like. A lot of people, it's one or the other.
Right.
It really is.
And I don't have any friends like this, but I wanted to ask if you guys have friends like this. People that buy boneless chicken wings.
Yeah, I mean, boneless chicken wings are not the same. I'll get boneless chicken wings.
Aren't they just grown up chicken nuggets?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
what they are, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, they are. Just like chicken Alfredo is grown-up macaroni and cheese.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Anyway, I'm getting too hungry
Blake
here
made
this
some
morning.
good mac and cheese.
Blake
Oh, yeah.
makes great mac and
Yeah, he
cheese.
does.
He made a batch for Easter.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I actually felt like I ate a batch last night and I felt it go on me. Yeah.
Just sitting on you.
Adding to that flat tire.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. A lot of
Good stuff.
A lot of answers.
Not bad, man.
Some
Not
of them are good. Some of them are not.
Okay.
Don't respond to them. Don't acknowledge those ones.
Drums and ranch. You got some issues with Troy. All right, man. Very controversial, Troy. I don't know how you're ever going to financially recover from this. It's time for a quick check of the weather. Quick. Is you done?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to keep going. All right. That quick check of the weather brought to you by Great Expectations Realty and Auction. They can sell your home, your business, and everything in it. Check them out at geauction.com and gerealty.us. We now go to Blake. What do you got? What are you doing?
I thought of changing traffic break with Traffic Blake. The Traffic Blake report. Let's take a quick Blake.
Keep brainstorming on that, Rick. Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
You totally just went drums now.
You should have thought of something well before this very moment.
Well, I thought
here.
of it and
We
said
could
it,
have
and then
fleshed it out.
You're like, what? And I'm like,
Yeah,
all right,
well,
if you say so.
Yeah.
All right. Then the keep Blaking report.
Still
Boy, we
work in
really
progress.
are not.
Still work in progress.
We're swinging
We
and
need
missing
some more
here.
external crises to fire us up.
We gotta ask ChatGPT.
Let's just get past this portion.
Let's ask the comments. Let's ask the
Moving
comments.
on.
Before we go to AI, let's ask the comments. What should the Blake traffic report be?
Yeah,
if
give us
anybody's
some
got
comments
some clever
down there.
ideas
There
in
you
the
go.
comments,
Good call.
we need those. We need a human name for this, not ChatGPT. ChatGPT is ruining the world.
That's what I looked at before I said that out loud.
When he was giving his off one, I'm going to throw out my off one. How about the Blake breakdown?
The Blake down.
Oh, the Blake.
How about the hit the Blake's traffic report?
Oh, hit the Blakes.
Well, we don't want to hit Blake, so
No,
Hey.
you know. I was thinking hit the brakes.
Punches, but not.
Yeah.
I haven't hit him in hours.
Oh, jeez.
I haven't hit him since the show started. We're good.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Blake's like, yes, please stop insulting me in new traffic. Good call, Blake.
Please. All right.
Good
all right,
call,
all right,
Blake.
All right. The traffic looks fine out there. Please stay safe out there. And I'm just paying tribute to one of my favorite segments that we ever did on the story. The week closed for a day. Very sorry sign from the
Yes.
86 rate.
Yeah, that was a good one. We close. So sorry.
All right. Well, if you want to avoid traffic, thank you, Blake, very much. Appreciate it.
Sorry
We'll
for
find
ruining
a
your
good
segment.
name
We
for the
will-
Blake
we will.
traffic report. We really will.
We will run into it.
Yeah, we will. Yeah. It'll happen by accident.
We'll never find a good name.
We will, Blake. Have confidence.
Yes, we will.
Manifest it, Blake.
Come on, you got it.
Positive vibes only.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Positive mental attitude. Here we go.
New shirt coming soon.
PMA.
If you want to avoid traffic in downtown St. Augustine, you got to hop on an Old Town trolley. They're the green trains. We absolutely love them. You're going to see so many sights and sounds in downtown St. Augustine without having to drive and without having to yell at tourists. And if you're yelling at tourists, they're behind you, so they're close enough to punch. No, don't punch the tourists on the green trains. We love the green trains.
Not on the train.
Not on the train.
Can't wait for him to get off.
That's right.
Give him a little nudge.
Give him
when
a
you get
good
off.
sneak attack.
That's right. That's right. And also, Lux German Headspaw!
Yes!
Back! Imagine this, you close your eyes! And you feel the tension melt away! A skilled hands gently massage your scalp using centuries-old German techniques designed to calm your mind and refresh your soul! This is the experience waiting for you in Lux Japanese Headspaw, the only certified headspaw in the area. Their treatments don't just relax, they heal! Whether you're dealing with thinning hair, dandruff, psoriasis, or imbalanced scalp! Lux Japanese Headspaw.
Hurry up, they open at 9.
That's a German word!
Sorry.
9.
9. 904.
All right. Tourism leaders looking for immediate fixes for Nights of Lights issues. The beloved Nights of Lights celebration in St. Augustine has grown so popular that city leaders have decided to make it shorter. It's not usually the response to popularity, but okay. That's not sitting well with local tourism leaders. The city commission voted recently to move the 2024-2025 event up to start on November 15th and end on January 11th. That's about a week earlier on the front end and 2 to 3 weeks shorter on the back end than previous years. Tourism leaders like Irving Cass, chair of the Tourist Development Council and owner of the St. George Inn in Pin 39, are pushing back. Cass is leading the discussion. He led the discussion at Monday's TDC meeting to explore alternatives that would address residents' concerns without cutting into the economic impact of the event. Now, without going through and reading this whole story, we have somebody who was there and sat on the TDC board.
Yeah.
And he likes flats with blue cheese.
Yes. And
Troy.
That's how it works. Yeah. So Irvin's sitting right beside me, but I'm the I think the vice chair.
Are you?
Yeah.
You think?
I think I'm the vice chair.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly what the title is, but I'm the guy beside Irving.
Okay.
Just remember where to sit at.
I'm the
That's
guy
my
that has
seat.
to push the button for like public comment, so they only talk 3 minutes. So that's
We're going to say vice chair.
vice chair.
Yeah.
I'm the vice chair. And yeah, I mean, a great presentation by David Burcham, the city manager. He did an excellent job.
Okay.
And Irving, his presentation is excellent. It really touched on how much impact it has. It's like almost $9.7 million a day in economic impact when they shorten it. And it came to about $130 million economic impact to the city by the city council shortening it. But there's a lot of different things out there. One of the things is they were talking about closing down lanes and stuff like that. On San Marco, there's a little bit of a problem. We got to get FDOT, Florida Department of Transportation, involved in this, because it's not so much it's a problem with the people, it's a problem with the vehicles. And Irving was 100% right. We got to change the mindset of the people that come in. We got to get to them before they get into the city. One of the things that I did like that the city said is they're not going to reopen the garage until it's closer to about 200 spaces, so that it can handle the volume that's sitting there waiting. Because what they were doing is they would open for like 35, and then the line would back up again, and it would cause a cluster again.
Yeah.
And where we live, we know exactly when the garage closes, because as soon as the garage closes, our roads go, and it bottlenecks everywhere. So that's a huge thing. For 2 years, the next 2 years, we're going to have King Street is going to be closed. So we have to figure out a plan for these 2 years, and we have to figure out a plan for moving forward from then on out.
Yeah.
And, we had great weather during this Night of Lights every weekend. It didn't rain.
Right.
So we were overwhelmed, and we weren't overwhelmed with the tourists. We're overwhelmed with the residents that live in the surrounding area. We went from, when you guys were growing up, we had like 100,000 people. Now we're at 330.
I don't even think we had 100,000 people when I was growing up.
It was a pretty low number. I think
it was very low.
I think when I moved here, it was like 96,000 and like 87 or something like that. So,
Wow.
in the entire county.
Right.
But, so there's going to be some definite huge problems this next 2 years. But we got to figure out how we're going to move forward with it. I really liked Irving also said opening up Francis Field. The city's concerned about the cost of repairing it, but
for parking, you
basically it pays for itself in about 3 nights of parking there.
Yeah.
The repairs pay for itself in about 3 nights of parking there.
So tell me, would that affect like them renting it out for events and things like that? Would they, under Irving's idea, obviously this is not an idea that's set in stone yet, but under that plan, would that say no more events on Francis Field? I can't imagine, because Sing Out Loud.
No. The events would be there. I mean, we don't do events during Night of Lights there anyway.
Right.
So, I mean, basically you're resodding. You're sacrificing the resodding and repairing whatever.
But again, you pay for that in parking.
Irrigation.
Yeah.
It's covered. It's covered in the amount you'll make in the parking. I mean, I think there's like, you can get almost 500 parking places in that area. I mean, it's really has a lot of parking there.
Yeah.
is.
And times that by 20, and
Yeah.
you do the math. You don't have to do it. In the city's presentation, and it was, you could tell one was done by the business, one was done by the city. In the city's presentation, they talked about how much it cost them to do what they were doing, because they're there trying to ask for help from the TDC and getting financial help. In Irvin's presentation, which comes from a business perspective, it shows how much we lost as a business. So, I mean, if you get a chance to go back and watch just that section, it was a really good give and take dialogue. It's real. It was nice. The mayor, when we did the shortening of the days, it seemed like they were very closed-minded, but now they're kind of like, okay, very open-minded. And the reason might be is because, how they were going to hire a consultant.
Right.
They sent out an RFP. The responses they got was zero. They didn't get any responses back. So it's basically the people of the world said, hey, it's you guys' problem.
Yeah.
And it is. It's our problem to solve, and that's what the business people
I'm glad we're not going to be spending a ton of money on a consultant for this, honestly.
Yeah, and Irving had a three-tier breakdown of the different committees of how to approach it and the people that should be on it, and I thought that was excellent. I think they should use that as one of the formats of how we're solving this problem.
Right. It's kind of everybody on that board is either in charge of these areas or affected by these areas. Like, there's input from everybody across the spectrum, which I like, which I like a whole lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, his group that he put together is like, we need somebody from tourist development, we need somebody from city, somebody from county, somebody from the beach, from law enforcement.
And a resident, included in there as well.
He had a resident in each one of those groups.
Yep.
And there was residents there, and I look out and I see these are my neighbors. So they saw the same pain that we saw, but it's fixable, and I think it's fixable if we catch them before they get to the city, and we do a better job. One of his things is making getting on the bus an A instead of an F. Because now you get on the bus, it takes you 45 minutes to get into town and 45 minutes to get, you're like, okay, I'm just going to take, that's 2 hours of my life that's gone.
Yeah.
I'm just going to take the risk and try and find a place to park. It was a great discussion with a lot of people that kind of understood it from both sides, business and residents. The residents none of them were like, oh, we got to stop Night of Lights. They were like, we need a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
I don't think shortening it makes it any better, because even the city said there was 19 critical days during the 70 something days of Night of Lights.
Yeah.
There was 19 days that were important, and those are the weekends. And they called critical days Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Sundays I don't see as being a critical day, what I've seen, but Fridays and Saturdays are.
Right.
And Saturdays especially is. So we got to focus on fixing the critical days and easing the pain on the others. And if we can get, if we get our messaging right, we call it marketing, but it's also messaging. We get our messaging right for our locals to kind of give up Saturday nights to the tourist, or Friday nights to the tourist, and try and make your family trip midweek or something like that. That'll ease. I mean, even if we're taking 500 cars out of the mix,
spread it out a little bit more even.
It just helps, and that's what I'm concerned about, is condensing the time. Condensing the time means a lot of the locals came in January,
right,
and now we've squashed January.
Yeah,
and I'm concerned how that's going to affect what is the old saying? The operation was a success, but the patient died.
Yes.
So it's like, oh yeah, we pulled this off, but
did it work?
Yeah, so it's so you got to be really, really cautious when you're playing with so many. I mean, and these are people's lives. This is one of the things I tried to explain yesterday. It's like, we cut off those 2 weeks, but you've been in the service industry. I mean, cut off those 2 weeks downtown. This is when they make their year.
There's the bread and butter.
You know, they make their year. I mean, you know, there's slow times in the service industry down there, and you know, August, September, man, you're holding on, and
used to be bad.
October you're starving, and then like November is when it starts to kick back in.
Right.
So,
and I mean, I think a lot of people also from the outside don't realize, and we've touched on it a little bit too before, how much it costs to be in a building. Be in many of the buildings downtown. I mean, minimum in many cases like $10,000 a month. But you know, somebody in real estate told me that like the A1A Aleworks building, something like $90,000 a month in rent.
I don't know about that, but that is high.
I heard 60.
That is very, very
but
high.
even whatever you
60,
hear.
90. I mean, it's probably, it has to be over 50. It's a massive space right there in downtown on the corner balcony.
Historical value.
It has to be one of the most
location,
prime pieces of real
wedding
estate in
venue
downtown.
upstairs.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, could you imagine paying rent over $50,000 a month?
You start your month with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Before you get paid.
Yeah.
Then you gotta pay.
An employee walks in the building and
right.
Then
property
you gotta pay all the
insurance.
staff, and then like guess who gets
That's
paid
the
last?
median income in St. Johns County.
yeah.
The last person to get paid is the owner.
Exactly.
Everybody's like, oh yeah, well you own this nice restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good when it's good, but when it's bad, it's bad.
When it's bad, it's
Yeah.
really
There's been
bad.
a lot more
So-
business owners lose it all than get it all.
So
For sure.
taking away even, 15 days of prime money making affects the whole year. Because what people have to do is they have to put a lot of that Nights of Lights money away to pay the bills when it's not as busy.
Yes.
When we're in slow months, man.
And it's hard to grab 60 grand out your back pocket just to cover bills this month. We could do it maybe on a car note or this, but
Karen just came in and said it's a 45,000 a triple net, which equates to probably closer to 60,000 after everything, because you got to cover the taxes, you got to cover everything in that, so that with the triple net. So so the 60,000 is probably pretty accurate before you even walk
Right
on.
before you even pay
Turn the
staff.
lights on
Yeah.
before the water is flowing,
Right.
before you have a name on the building, before you're registered with Sunbiz, before anything.
So to pay, an extra $30,000
You're
on
$100
top
grand
of
a
that
month
is not
operation
easy.
easily.
I mean,
man.
I can tell you
That's
from
tough.
just office space down there, we're at close to 45 a square foot, which is
That's pretty solid.
anything outside of that area is closer to 22, 23 a square foot.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you pay to be there.
Yes. And people will pay. It's hot
Well,
commodities.
a lot of
down
it is
there.
automatic business.
It is.
It's just you pay that much because you get automatic business. You get a lot of foot traffic in downtown. But I'm glad that residents, businesses, tourism,
We're having a conversation.
and city government are having a conversation about this for sure, because we have needed that for a very, very long time, and it's finally becoming real to everybody, and I'm happy about that.
And Celeste, thank you for taking us there, because she actually just jumped in about selling tickets at a premium parking. The problem with that is because of the way our parking works, and if you do premium parking, that means you have to save that parking place for someone. So that parking place is vacant. And you can only sell it one time because you don't know how long they're going to stay.
Whoa, power went off.
All right.
Getting some.
Did we lose
good?
everything? Still recording.
We're flickering.
We're still.
Looks like we're still streaming.
Okay. I can't
That's
tell.
interesting.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
a little power snap.
Yeah, we
out here.
just had a little snap there. But the problem with the premium parking is that means you only sell that parking place one time that night.
Mhm.
And these people rotate through. And
Right.
the parking garage turns over like 4 or 5 times on a Saturday or Friday. And if
You
you
made
sell
a
just
comparison
premium
to
parking,
that.
you don't know when exactly they're going to show up, when they're going to leave.
If they're even going to show up.
And that was Irvin had that in his proposal. I kind of gave him a little bit of a hard time. I was like, listen, at the Treasury, we have a parking lot. We make our money on the turnover. We don't make our money on that
Absolutely.
first sale.
Well, the restaurant analogy you brought up was great. It's like a restaurant. If you're just going to only flip one table a night, that a restaurant can't survive off of that. You must flip that multiple times throughout the evening.
You can't make it if you're in the restaurant business and that table only sits
It's
one
worth
time.
the price, and if you don't flip it that amount of times,
you're done.
You're taking a loss.
And it's the same. It's the same in the parking business. I mean, you need it to rotate.
Absolutely.
And not only do we need it to rotate, but we need to count that 5 times to handle the volume of the people coming in. So it would be nice because people know exactly where they're going, but The problem is it takes too much inventory out of the mix
to make it efficient enough to work.
make it efficient. So
that's a good point.
You know, and that, I mean, and those, I mean, there's still great ideas, and people need to give those ideas. But we need people in the room to go, okay, let's take that. And,
Logistically, how is that going to play out?
And I mean, it's a big clump of clay. We need to mold it into place, and if we have the right artist in the room, we'll end up.
They can nail it.
Yeah. So.
Very good.
All right, but we'll say that. But there's one point that I do want to bring up because I am a part-time Uber driver, and one of the big discussions I saw one of the discussions that was brought up by the city was the ride share. So has there always been like a restricted area for rideshare drivers to avoid in downtown, and you think this strategy will work with designated park pickup and drop off zones?
Well, some of the zones are too far in the middle of everything. That I saw, like the drop off zones they talked about, are kind of like near No Name Bar, where that little turn in thing is, where the trolleys go in. They talked about that being a drop off. They talked about the other one being near the plaza. Okay, Blake, you brought it up right there. Thank you on bringing it up on the screen. But in my opinion, I feel they're too close to the heart of it. I think the drop-off areas need to be a little
like Augie's Pizza, St. Augie's Pizza, something like a little bit further out.
Yeah.
And we need to figure out, maybe instead of at, the plaza that you get dropped off at, I'm thinking of areas that are owned by the city, like maybe at the police department.
Okay.
Something just outside of
the
that
parking garage-ish area, somewhere in that.
Well, maybe even drop-offs. If you're coming from the island, it needs to be on the other side of the bridge. And people can make that walk. I mean, they're going to be walking around.
Yeah, but nobody's going to want to make that walk. I mean, you Uber for convenience. You Uber so that you can get where you're going quickly. I think. Does that apply to pickup? Is that pickup and drop-off zones?
I can tell you, like, if you wanted to get picked up.
Yeah.
On Uber during Night of Lights, you had to walk.
Yeah, get out of that proximity.
You're not getting picked up at the front of Teeny Martini.
Yeah, fair.
You have to walk to
get out of the congestion a little bit.
Get away from everything for them to even get to you, or you're waiting an hour.
It was bad.
Blake, you can attest to it.
Yeah, it was super bad. Definitely a lot of the riders that I had didn't know. That was like they were just like mad at me. I was like, oh, I had to walk all the way over here. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. It's like have you seen how bad traffic is during the plaza?
You don't want to be in this traffic.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not an easy solution, and I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why people looked at that and go, I ain't touching that one, as a consultant.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, nope. Nope, I'm only going to make
we can all
happen.
agree that if it was an easy fix, I think we would have done it already. Yeah. So there's going to be things that are thrown out that aren't going to be perfect. It's life. Well, and that we're going to have to take some of those with it to make it happen.
You massage it out.
The most important thing to me is having the law enforcement to keep the traffic going. Because what happens, and I don't know, I've said this on air before, and I'm not sure if I'm repeating myself too much in what room I've said it in. The most important thing is along Avenida Menendez, in front of the Hilton, in front of Teeny Martini, in front of Harry's and the Saint, there's two crosswalks there. All right, there's two crosswalks there. There's a crosswalk at the Bridge Alliance, and there's a crosswalk at the Fort. Okay, so there's 4 crosswalks total. What happens is that's a blinking light at those two. Nobody's manning it. So the people just keep walking.
They're trafficking,
and then the
controlling.
cars are literally stuck in a parking lot because I looked it up. You're not allowed to, go through a crowd.
Hit pedestrians?
Really?
Dang.
You're not?
And,
I've been doing it all wrong in downtown for a long time.
And the goal is to keep everybody safe. But we have to put either some type of security crossing guard, law enforcement at those locations, and the other one is at Cathedral Place, right there at Le Macaron, where they have that crosswalk there.
Yeah,
and those 5 spots, I think it'll help tremendously with the traffic, at least keeping them moving. Instead of just being in an absolute standstill. It's still going to be slow.
Yeah, absolutely.
Still going to be slow.
It's the name of the game.
And I think that's a good place.
What if
to
you
start.
consolidated the
we have to do
crosswalks and
that.
did them at just one or two areas instead of just having people spread out all the way around those roads crossing?
Yeah, I mean that's I don't know if they're already so congested already.
Right.
I think it might overwhelm the crosswalks.
And
So,
then it congests the walkways to
then-
those
then
crosswalks.
you're backed up into the road from the sidewalk.
Yeah.
One thing I definitely want them to do is the vendors on Avenida Menendez need to go away.
Yeah, well, it sounds like that's in the works.
They're that ordinance. I think everybody who's a local, because they're not local business people. I mean, they're people that come in and take advantage of our city.
Yeah.
So those need to go away. It's it was a very, very good discussion yesterday. Good. I think it was very productive. Irving, like I said, he did an amazing job of waking up a lot of the people in the room. I think David did a good job of saying here's where we're going to start, and then we need to add on to that. So
good.
All right,
it's a starting place.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, again, I'm glad we're having the discussion with everybody at the table, man. Everybody at the table that needs to be at the table.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much everybody, which is good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's how you really get things done, is get everybody's input on it. All right, moving along. That first story took us 35 minutes. That is unusual. Half the show's done, guys. So Governor Ron DeSantis has signed some bills into law. Here's when they take effect. Here's what they are. Let's see. We've got Governor Ron DeSantis signing new bills into law, with several more awaiting his signature. The latest laws cover everything from mental health court orders to pet insurance. House Bill 513 streamlines the communication between courts and law enforcement, requires clerks to electronically submit court orders. House Bill 655 addresses pet insurance, officially defines pet coverage as a form of property insurance by Florida law. Wonder what that entails. Adds new rules to prevent confusion between pet insurance and general wellness programs. Takes effect January 1st. House Bill 1313 reestablishes the Resilient Florida Trust Fund. Supports a grant program focused on climate resilience. Also takes effect July 1st. Senate Bill 421 expands access to peer support services for first responders. That's a good thing. That takes effect July 1st. Several more bills have cleared the legislature, now waiting for Governor DeSantis' signature. Bill 157 would increase hours that corporate registered agents must be available to receive legal documents. All right, all the rest of this is boring, and we're running out of time. Gas report time. Let us know in the comments where you are seeing the best prices for gas. We would appreciate it. And looks like we're going to start with the Sunoco. At $21.99 North Ponce, $2.84. We've got the Shell at $146 King, $2.85. The Owens at $7.80 South Ponce, $2.85. The Shell at $2.16 Ponce de Leon Boulevard, $2.85. The Mobil and Circle K, $2.85. The Sunoco at $4.50 South Ponce, $2.85. The Circle K on $2.07, $2.89. The Shell at $23.50 North Ponce, $2.92. The Gate at $40.75 US 1 North, $3.19. And the Gate on Mizell Road, also $3.19. That comes to us from Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. If you get in trouble for running over tourists in downtown, Chris will do his best to get you out. That's not always going to be bailable. But if you can be bailed out, Chris will bail you out. How about that? Available for you 24/7 to provide fast and reliable bail services. 904-822-BAIL. It's 904-822-2245. We got live music happening today and tonight. Brett Blackshear going to be at Trade Winds at 1 o'clock. Furman Spanish Guitar. Pizzali's at 3 o'clock. John Q at the Milltop Tavern at 4:30. Mark Hart, Trade Winds at 5. Jeremy Wineglass. Perfect place. Michael's at 6. Smokin' Joe Shower at Ann O'Malley's at 6. Bad Dog Mama, Pierre's Pub at 7. The Dewey Via Band going to be at Tides at 7. We got trivia with Troy, Blake, and Aiden, the whole crew at Gypsy Cab at 7 o'clock. John Q at the Milltop Tavern at 9. And that's it. And that comes to us from a place who has live music all the time. Bin 39, Irving Cass's place. right out there at 4 St. George Street. Great place to listen to some live music and enjoy some wonderful wine as well. Over 95 for you to choose from. You got to check them out. Bin 39 at 4 St. George Street, right on the Orange Street side. And, of course, our friends at Fidus Roofing, your local go-to for 15-plus years, close to 20 years at this point. And all their people live right here in St. Johns County. Master elite contractors, which means they can offer you warranties that nobody else can touch. They love our community, and they love you in the best non-creepy way possible. So you know you're in good hands. Fidus Roofing, 904-355-ROOF.
They do pavers.
And gutters.
All right.
Cuckoo.
There it is. All right, the law that could stymie neighborhood improvements. What's this about? In St. Augustine, a proposed state law could halt major plans for neighborhood revitalization, just as the city's newest community redevelopment agency area, known as the West City CRA, was preparing to launch its first projects. The State Bill 1242 could effectively phase out most CRAs across Florida by 2045. Well, that's a long way away. And it would block any new projects or financing efforts beginning October 1st of this year. Interesting. CRAs, community redevelopment areas, were created to combat blight. The only time I've ever heard the word blight was Captain Planet.
I don't even know what that means. I don't think I've heard that before.
Blighted.
Blighted?
I've been in blighted areas before. That's when you lock the door.
I've been blighted by the life, by the light, wrapped up like a douche for the very first time.
Boy, yeah, it's revved up like a deuce, but I was
wrapped up like a douche.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Wrapped up like a douche for the very first time.
Like. I can't not hear that.
You said it in a black accent, too.
It comes out of me.
I hear that when I hear the song. I always thought for the longest time, I'm like, what are they saying? He can't be saying
handfuls of songs that we don't even know what they're saying. We just say it. All right, cool. Vocabulary?
Created to combat blight by reinvesting local tax revenue back into struggling neighborhoods. These funds, called Tax Increment Financing, or TIF. What up, TIF?
TIF.
Come from the increase in property taxes as areas improve. Supporters say it's a powerful tool that doesn't raise taxes, but still funds affordable housing, infrastructure upgrades, and economic development. But Senator Stan McClain, the bill's sponsor,
Stan,
says some CRAs have been mismanaged with board members seeking inappropriate stipends and excessive money spent on administrative costs. While McClain hasn't cited specific examples, he does argue that many CRAs have either outlived their purpose or expanded beyond their original mission. In St. Augustine, officials like CRA's division manager, Jamie Perkins, say that the West City CRA just weeks away from adopting its first redevelopment plan. And the plan included sidewalk repairs, stormwater upgrades, and assistance for storm-damaged homes. Projects now feared may never get off the ground. She warns that legislation would erase years of work and devastate rural communities that may need CRAs in the future, but wouldn't be allowed to create them. Under the bill, no new CRAs could be established after July 1st. TIF revenue would continue to be collected, but only until existing CRAs sunset, most by 2045. What do you think about this, Troy?
All right, so in case you guys want to know where we're at with CRAs, we have several CRAs in our community. One that's very successful, the West Augustine CRA, which you mentioned, has had some limited success, but they're really getting great momentum going with the clinic over there and some other things. So they're really, right now, they're just starting to hit their stride. The one that started first is Volano. And I don't know if you guys remember what Volano used to look like before they started doing the roads and everything over there. They have a Publix now. They have the center over there. I went to Saturday. I went to an event on the walking streets area. It was amazing. It was slammed. So the success of a CRA, if you want to think about it, go back 30 years and see what Volano looked like.
Yeah, there's nothing over there.
And now it's got some great hotels over there. And it really, the the old bridge is now the pier. You know, I don't know if you guys, how many people were here back when.
I remember the old bridge.
It used to always break.
Always broken.
It would be stuck up.
Always broken.
You had to go to Palm
Valley,
yeah.
all the way up.
So I mean, that is a success story of a CRA, but it takes decades to get to where you get your feet on the ground. And if they take these out, the other CRAs in Lincolnville, you know, Lincolnville has went through a lot of changes in some of the things that they're trying to do over there. But it allows the money to stay within, like if money's collected there, that money stays within that community. You know, St. Johns County is famous for collecting money here and sending it over there. But this allows that money, that TIF money, to stay within the community, to be reinvested back into the community. So I like the CRAs, I like the TIFs, but it does come down to, like they're saying in that bill and what they're trying to do, is who's holding the purse strings of that CRA and how that's being managed, and that money not going to administration. It's just like a nonprofit.
Right.
Nonprofits are great
when they're run correctly.
Until they're not great. Until they're not great, and somebody sees all that money and then pulls it out, and all of a sudden, you know, the executive director, instead of making a job he should be making 60,000, is now making 300,000.
Right.
You know, and that happens. So you know, so it's I like the CRAs. I would like to see a little more oversight on the management of them. But I think this is too far beyond where it needs to be.
Nice.
Okay. Thank you for the context there.
I probably talked 5 minutes when I could have done it in 2.
No, that was good.
So,
good. No, we need people need to know what the stuff means, man. And that's why we have you here. Because you get it.
It sounds like a cup shell game of like, how are we going to take money from people and what are we going to do with it so they can't catch up to what we're doing with it? And it sounds like we're always a step behind of all this. And
the most important thing is it protects the money to stay in the area.
Right.
And that's the most valuable component of it. And, you know, until 45, I mean, hopefully they come up with something different if it does pass. But, you know, it's needed for, what is it? Blighted areas?
Blighted areas.
Blighted areas.
Blighted.
So.
Yeah.
Blighted by the light. Yeah. That's all I remember. Tiff. Shout out Tiff in that song.
Yeah. Shout out Tiff. And the never mind. And Tiff and her never mind.
Oh, Justin's the one who said breakfast at Tiff's.
Breakfast at Tiff's. Nice.
That's a better song.
That one's good. There we go.
Yeah. And I said, what about breakfast at the Blighted Tiffany's?
That's a new restaurant coming soon.
Yeah,
whenever we have $100,000 a month to throw down on that, we're moving to downtown.
Blighted Tiffany's. There we go.
And we're closing all nights of lights. We're only opening during non-nights of lights days.
Yeah, that's right.
We're here to fix the problem, guys.
All right. St. John's County going to be enhancing the Field of Dreams with a $1.5 million expansion.
Awesome.
For an inclusive baseball league. This is exciting. The St. John's County, the beloved Field of Dreams baseball facility, is getting a major upgrade. Located at Aberdeen Park, the disability-friendly baseball field will soon see expanded parking and brand new concessions building, complete with ADA accessible restrooms. That's great. Yeah. Well, you would want to have ADA accessible restrooms at a field for people with disabilities. Yeah. That'd make a lot of sense.
Well, they've been using portalets for the last, I don't know. Blake, you're better with years. We start this in 11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we officially signed up Ty like in 2011. Then I think we stopped in 2019. So But the only thing I remember was the pop-up tents for the concession stands.
Yeah.
Then porta potties for the restrooms.
And the Shriners, I mean, you know, and it's all volunteer based. So this is great. This is great stuff. Yeah.
The Board of County Commissioners approved the $1.5 million construction contract at its April 15th meeting. Sabungi Construction has been selected to lead the project. To mark the beginning of construction, a groundbreaking ceremony is scheduled for 11:30 a.m. on May 3rd. That's nice. A Field of Dreams Baseball League calls this facility home. It's a volunteer-run organization offering children with physical or mental disabilities the chance to play baseball in a safe, inclusive environment, completely free of charge. Players wear uniforms, have their names announced, take part in the national anthem, and enjoy the full experience of being on a baseball team. That's pretty awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So,
in addition to the ball field, Aberdeen Park features an all-inclusive ADA accessible playground, making it a central hub for families and children of all abilities. Very cool, man.
Yeah. No, and I encourage anybody who hasn't been there to go and just watch one game. If you don't tear up a little bit, you have no soul, and you probably eat drums.
With ranch.
Oh, did I say that?
With ranch. Yeah, with ranch. Loser psychos.
I'm telling you right now, like when we came up with the concept, because there was a Challenger League, and the fields were not set up for it. Someone brought it to me this is way back when I was Parks and Recreation director. Obviously, the boys with autism, it made sense for us to participate. And I'm telling you right now, I've coached thousands and thousands of kids, but nothing was more rewarding than coaching this league for the 9-10 years I coached this league for when Ty was in it. And Blake helped coach. And awesome. I'm telling you right now, it's a different level of feeling when you see the buddies working with the kids, and so great job, county. It's probably been a long time coming to get what they needed to get, but they did it in the right priority list. The playground needed to be there, and so now the concessions and the bathrooms are there. So very
cool.
Very proud of the county for doing that.
Yeah, man.
Yes,
good stuff. Troy, how do you want to check the comments today?
On this tumultuous Tuesday, I will tear through the tremendously and titillating comments of our tribe.
All right. As you do that, I'll remind everybody, Bates, Hewitt & Floyd, not your average local insurance agency. They provide peace of mind and insurance to protect your biggest investments. Their approach to insurance and risk longevity in our community and the way they treat their clients sets them apart from all the rest. They offer homeowners, auto, commercial, and benefits, and they've been doing that for over 50 years. Christy Lawrenson, an amazing person. I talked to her yesterday. Great human being. Is St. Augustine's premier agent. She offers complimentary policy reviews and has a deep understanding of insurance and what is needed in St. Augustine to be properly insured. Her attention to detail and organizational skills have found policy errors and cost savings where others have not. Give them a call, 904-794-5455, and schedule your appointment today. Also, St. Augustine Handy House. Now, if you're looking for the perfect custom or prefab portable building, look no further than St. Augustine Handy House, proudly owned by Troy Usina Enterprises. Now, conveniently located on State Road 16, it's a family-owned business, been serving our community since 1988. They have the highest rated handy house structures in the industry, built with a focus on quality and durability. They can deliver, level, and anchor your building free of charge. They can take care of any permits that may be needed. Really, they make it so easy for you. You just pick out what you like. Troy and the family handle the rest.
The good Troy.
The good Troy.
You actually design them yourself. You don't even pick them. You can put the windows where you want them, doors where you want them. You can custom design those things.
Oh, cool.
Wow. That's what we did for ours. Yep.
Yeah. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 1, and they make it easy to find exactly what you need. That's the bottom line. 904-823-9092, because Pete Melfi said so.
And that's the bottom line. Because Pete Melfi
and that's
said
the
so.
bottom line. I can't do a good Stone Cold.
What?
I can't do. See, yeah, there you go.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
What?
Very good, Blake.
That was more Hulk Hogan, by the way.
Yeah. Anything brother is
All
Hulk
wrestling
Hogan,
is,
like,
I just do Ric Flair, Stone Cold, and Hulk Hogan.
I feel like Hulk Hogan is pretty much the same as Macho Man, or
Randy
more
Savage.
brothers.
Oh, yeah. They're all the same to me.
Send me to a Slim Jim.
You just do little steroids, a little
Right.
nose
vitamins.
beers.
They're called vitamins.
Oh, they're vitamins.
Yeah,
Okay,
do your
that's what
vitamins.
yeah, take my vitamins.
Yeah, take your vitamins.
And then you can just get right into character.
Yeah, the Macho Man played for the Cincinnati Reds before he went
Did he
into
really?
wrestling. Yeah, he did.
Nice.
He was
Wow.
a baseball guy and went into wrestling.
Dang.
All right, are you ready for the comments?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, Wawa was at 319. Costco is at 279. All right, the weird part is yesterday the BP at Lewis Point was at 286. This morning it bumped up to 317 in one night.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right. Also, one of the things that the city talked about, we didn't talk about, is the parking tickets. So parking tickets were $35. They're talking about raising them up because people are like, screw this. I'm just going to take a parking ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Parking's 40. Give me a ticket.
Yeah, just give me a ticket.
That's genius.
So people were doing that, and they just got the tickets like, okay, that was worth it.
Yeah.
I'm out of traffic. I'll park here.
Oh, that's a good point.
So they're making it where it's a little more painful for that.
Yeah.
All right. And the best one I think I saw for Blake's was Blake's traffic break, but it's spelled Brake.
But see, we don't show the spelling here.
Yeah.
If we had a graphic on the screen, that would be.
He could.
Ooh.
He has that technology. He has the fourth screen.
Yeah, isn't break already spelled that way?
Yeah, but like.
But breaks B-R-A-K-E.
B-R-E.
Or E-A-K.
B-R-E-A-K.
Well, okay. Well, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I was still thinking about break. I was still thinking about break.
Yeah.
Wait,
but the take a break is B-R-E.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Mr. Dyslexia over here. What are you spelling over there?
I'm actually a pretty good speller. I'd leave words out.
Leave words out.
I leave out important words like, hey, I'll be right there, or hey, I won't be right there. I'll leave out the word won't.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I'll leave words out.
The important ones.
Or I'll put a word in front of the other word. And yeah. So when you get a text from me and it makes no sense, just close one eye, wink at it, and you'll figure it out. Because that's how I look at the world.
Oh, okay.
Add whatever words you think are missing.
That's how I look at the world. I mean,
translate it yourself. Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah. So, I mean, I mix words. My letters aren't mixed up. My words are mixed
order
up
of them.
when I read.
Huh.
So.
What do you got for Stodom Stat, man?
Stodom Stat 1889. President Benjamin Harrison decided to open up Oklahoma to white settlers. All right. So Oklahoma, the University of Oklahoma, what's their nickname?
Sooners.
All right. You know why it's their nickname?
I do not.
All right. You're about to find out.
Awesome.
So in 1889, he said, okay, we're going to open up this land. And they basically had a big line of wagons and stuff like that. And then they blew, they shot off a cannon. And then you were allowed to go and claim your land. There was marked off land, and you could claim your land. And that was your land. All right. The people that jumped the gun, before the cannon went off, jumped the gun.
Literally.
They actually got there, and they were criminals, but they got there too soon. And those were Sooners. And so basically they cheated in the middle of the night. They kind of went out and claimed their land and kind of hid.
Right.
Oh, smart.
But on this day is when Benjamin Harris opened up almost 2 million acres of land. And it kind of just pushed the Native Americans away again, because that's where they were originally sent in like 1817, because they didn't think the land was worth anything. But as agriculture and irrigation and those things got better, by this time it became valuable land again. And that's the reason, like Oklahoma, which is right in the middle of our country, didn't become a state until like 1907. So it was like,
oh, wow.
You look at all the other states that are here, and they're kind of on the peripheral. I think New Mexico and Arizona became states in like 1912. But Oklahoma was the only one right before that. It's right in the middle of our country, and it's because it was Indian territory, and it came along so much longer.
I had no idea.
But that's why they're Sooners. Sooners basically is a criminal.
Right.
Yeah.
Someone that jumped the gun too early, went out there and stole the land before anyone else could.
So and I think if the baseball team in Oklahoma City is like the 89ers or something like that, the minor league baseball team.
Oh, nice.
It's because of this.
So, very cool.
Good stat. Brought to you by a great pizza place, our favorite here, St. Augie's Pizza, right in between Riberia and ML King. Great place to go grab a slice on a day like today. Plugs, Troy.
All right, we got trivia tonight. Make sure you call ahead. It should be a fun night, and we're excited to see you out there.
Plugs, Rick.
Yes, sir. Shout out the 904 Now and Cousin Margie.
Plugs, Blake.
Enjoy trivia tonight.
Very good.
Heard.
See you guys tomorrow.
Bye-bye.